and I think Rob's going to join me to show here. Hey, Rob.
Good morning.
So let's see what this ConfigControl is all about.
Okay, well, I'd like to show everyone just a preview of this new technology. And so what we'll do is look at a common scenario for an IT system administrator, and we'll see how ConfigControl is going to improve our ability to manage, plan, and troubleshoot in our virtual infrastructure by giving us a detailed visibility into what's new and what's changed. And so let's set the scene a little bit here. It's pretty early this morning. Employees are just arriving at work, and they're logging onto their email. And as a sysadmin, I see here that I've received the dreaded knock alert, which is telling me that one of the Exchange servers in our environment has gone down or is not responding. So this is something we want to resolve pretty quickly. And luckily, I see here earlier this morning, I did also receive an email from ConfigControl. And this is actually a policy-based change alert. And this is telling me that something changed in my virtual infrastructure. And so I suspect that maybe these two things are related. So I think I'd like to get a little more detail on that from ConfigControl. So here we see the ConfigControl search interface. Now, ConfigControl collects a large amount of data from a wide range of sources in our environment, including multiple vCenters, and it keeps a historical record of our inventory and our configuration. And so it's pretty important that we have a robust search capability here so we can really narrow in on the information that's going to be useful to us. So in this case, my first search criteria has already been filled in there, and I'm actually going to add another criteria here because I know I'm interested in this Exchange server. So let's go ahead and see what we find. I've got a couple hits on my search here. One of them is a port group, and the other is my Exchange VM, actually. So I'm interested in both of these. So I'm going to go ahead now and move to the next step where I can select the ways in which I want to visualize the data from ConfigControl. So we have a number of options here, but the one I'm interested in first is the diff visualization. And so this will essentially let me look at the configuration now versus at a previous time, and I'll see what's changed. I'm also kind of curious to know the relationships here and if anything else might be impacted by this change. So I'm going to go ahead and add these. And now we'll actually create our visualizations and see what the data tells us. OK, so on the left, we have our diff visualization. And this is showing us basically our port group 3 here at a previous point in time versus now. And it's pretty obvious what the change was here. It looks like somebody changed the VLAN ID from 0 to 10. And so this is the sort of change that would be pretty difficult to track down if we were just going to search through this, through the VI client. But it's real obvious here that this is what's happened. And so I think this is probably why my Exchange server is not responding. But I'm also kind of curious to know if anything else has been impacted. So I'm just going to expand this topology map here, and we'll take a closer look. We see our port group here and our Exchange VM. And I see that also connected to this, we have 2 more VMs over here. There's a SharePoint server and the Apache Tomcat server here. So I'm pretty sure that these 2 servers are also down as a result of this port group change. So basically what we've just seen is that we were able to troubleshoot the issue that we knew about, as well as uncover a couple new issues that we haven't even seen reported yet. So we'll be able to proactively deal with those now.
Great. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.